Welcome back to the channel. This is Trinity Storm and you are watching 10th part of What If Naruto Became a Player. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Now wasting no more time, let's start the story.
Quest alert. The third stage of the Chunin selection exam. Finish the third part of the Chunin selection exam without failing. Objectives. Defeat Uchiha Sasuke. Defeat Sabaku Gaara. Defeat? Goals for extras. Award for completion, 500,000 express. 50,000 express per bonus objective. Completion failure, 10,000 express. Death or the end of the Chunin exam. This message was the first thing Naruto saw when he walked into the arena. He was happy to accept the quest. The fact that his prepared buff was now active and counting down was also shown by a symbol that flashed in the corner of his vision and had a timer below it. Prepared at 0 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Plus 10% damage to opponents who have been scouted, minus 10% damage from opponents who have been scouted. Even though the buff was nice, Naruto couldn't help but be amazed by the arena floor. He had never been here before, and if he won, he might never come back. Even though the stands weren't full yet, he could see people moving around, laughing and joking with each other, and some even making bets. Bets were something Naruto would love to be up there taking. But it could go horribly wrong if he got hurt and his clones dispelled, sending any money they had collected flying everywhere when they died. It would hurt his business, his reputation, and probably his health as well. He looked around and saw that the Hokage's box was still empty, but he figured it would stay that way until it was time to start or just before. Neji and Lee were the only other competitors to join Naruto on the arena floor. Neji just seemed to stare at Naruto, then Lee, and then back at Naruto, while Lee warmed up by stretching and throwing punches and kicks.
Morning, gentlemen, Naruto tried to say to them.
Yosh, good morning, Naruto-kun. How are your flames of youth today? Burning youthfully, he said, not sure what else to say. That seemed to get Lee excited, and he started shouting and screaming incoherently. Neji, on the other hand, seemed to just stare harder. Naruto finally got tired of his attitude and asked, "What's your problem?" "Fate has already decided who is the strongest here, you do not belong." I'm the strongest here," Naruto said, and his level showed that he was sure of it. Neji was now level 34, but Naruto was still one level ahead of him. Neji sneered, but he wouldn't talk anymore. "Man, I would hate to be you," Naruto said as an afterthought. "Oh, you'd hate to be part of a clan as famous and respected as the Hyuga, or you'd hate to be a prodigy with talent not seen since Uchiha Itachi." "No, neither of those would bother me. I don't want to be Fate's B***TCH. Neji's Byakugan came on automatically. Naruto asked with a smirk, "Oh, did I hit a nerve? What's wrong? Don't like that you're a B***TCH to something that doesn't really exist? If you weren't destined to lose to the last Uchiha, I would be happy to kill you." "I'm sure you would be happy to, but you're not strong enough," Naruto teased. He was playing games with his possible opponent, which turned out to be something he was pretty good at. "You won't get me to attack you now and get kicked out," Neji said as he turned off his Byakugan and closed his eyes. "I wouldn't worry too much about it anyway, because Lee will kick your behind before you can show that you're right. That poor excuse for a shinobi, if you think he has a chance, you're really grasping at straws." Lee was now level 33, which was a big step up from where he was in the preliminary rounds. Still, he didn't know if anyone could beat Lee based on his statistics. You and Lee might both be surprised by Lee. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Already messing with their heads? Kiba asked as he walked in with his usual cocky strut, ruining any psychological blows he may have already dealt to Neji. "It doesn't work if you tell them," Naruto said angrily, giving Kiba a hard look. Kiba had made a lot of level up progress, and he was now a very respectable level 26. That was 6 levels higher than where he was when the exam started. Name: Inuzuka Kiba. Genin, plus 10 points added to the amount of experience gained. Level: LV 26 next level, 44.22%. HP: 10-10-10-10. CP: 390/390ths. STR: 208. VIT: 101. Dex: 257. Int: 39. Wis: 30. Luck: 3. Def: 550. SPD: 167. Status. Feral Beast, plus 8, ST, R and plus 8 dex per level, minus 15 Whis and minus 15 Int, Pack Leader, plus 10 Int, plus 10 Whis, plus 10% damage when in a group, Ninken Master, Ninja Partner does 20% more damage and gains 25% more experience. He even made one of his status boosts better, which gave him a lot more strength and dexterity and gave his speed a big boost. He would definitely be a very dangerous opponent for Choji. Yeah, whatever, Naruto. It's not like you'll make it past Sasuke for any of your messing with them to pay off. And even if you did, you'd definitely die fighting Gaara. Heck, when I beat Choji, I'll probably back out before fighting Gaara next. Naruto was glad Kiba finally saw Gaara as a threat, but he didn't like how Kiba treated him. Then Naruto figured out what Kiba was doing. Naruto told him, "You have a lot of balls to talk about messing with people when you're already trying to mess with my head." "Can't blame a dog for trying," he said, grinning like a wild animal. "Hey, guys!" yelled Choji when he got there next. "Sup, Choji," Kiba said to him. "How are you today? You look a little bit skinny." "Yeah, and you smell terrible," Choji said. "It's making my eyes water from here. How can you hide from people if they can smell you from a mile away?" Naruto couldn't help but laugh at the fat genin's perfect answer. Choji had also improved a lot since the beginning of the exams, gaining 6 levels. Name: Akamichi Choji. Genin, plus 10 points added to the amount of experience gained. Level: LV28 next level, 32.32%. HP: 3163,160ths. CP: 525/120ths. STR: 216. VIT: 92. Dex: 32. Int: 52. Whis: 42. Luck: 4. Def: 750. SPD: 44. Status: Hulk, plus 80, HP and plus 5, ST, R per level, 10 Dex, Connoisseur, plus 15% cooking skill effectiveness, plus 25% cooking skill experience gain, Faithful Friend, plus 10% to all stats when on the same team as Exalted Friend. Naruto finally said, looking good, Choji, noticing how much he'd changed. "Yes, my dad gave me a lot of work to do this month. I've gotten a lot stronger." "I can tell," he said, knowing that the Choji also knew how much he had improved. "Fucking tree huggers," Kankuro grumbled as he walked into the arena behind Gaara, who looked very upset. "Fucking sand rats," Naruto and Kiba complained at the same time. "I hate this place," Kankuro said. "Kankuro, shut up. Or I'll kill you," Gaara told his brother, instantly stopping him from talking. "What's the matter, kid? Did someone wake him up before his nap time?" asked Naruto. "Dude, are you insane?" Kiba asked, trying to get Naruto away from Gaara. "Maybe a little," Naruto replied. Genma, who had offered to train Naruto for the finals during the month break, said, "Insane or not, we're about to start." The man still had a bandana on his head and a senbon in his mouth, which could have been a toothpick or a cigarette, but it was hard to tell. His standard blue and green uniform looked clean and pressed for today's event, but it wasn't anything special. "Hey, Genma-san, how are you?" asked Naruto. "Okay, but for now, I think you should line up, because the Hokage will be talking to us soon." "Any word on Sasuke Teme?" As if the jerk heard him, he and Kakashi both appeared in the arena in front of the lined-up genin. "We're not late, are we?" asked Kakashi. "Nope, you're right on time," Genma said in reply. "Great, do you mind if I talk to my other student for a minute?" "You have about 2 minutes," she said. "Thanks," Kakashi said as he walked over to Naruto and pulled him away. "Hey, teacher, what's up?" "Naruto, really? You're spying?" Ero Sennin said that the tests were normal. "And you're not going to tell me that you didn't tell Sasuke to do the same?" "I did, but he said he didn't need it and turned me down." "It's pretty normal, and you did a good job of getting to us, but I don't want to catch you again spying on a teammate." "We good?" "Yeah, I won't have to do it again because I'll be Chunin by the end of the day," he said. Kakashi said, "Well, then, good luck," and then he used a shunshin to disappear. Most likely, he would show up somewhere in the crowd to watch the fights. Naruto went back to the other genin, eager to get started. He was surprised to see Shino there, since he hadn't even noticed Shino's arrival. The Hokage's voice boomed through the arena, saying, "Welcome, everyone. I'm proud to announce that the Chunin selection exam finals have begun. I tell the competitors, fight hard, fight smart, and make your villages proud." Genma said, "I hope you all paid attention. If Sasuke Uchiha and Naruto Uzumaki stay, everyone else can go up to the competitors' box." "First we fight?" asked Naruto. "Only because you are in the deepest bracket," Genma said. Naruto nodded and started doing some light stretches while he waited for everyone to leave the arena floor. "You should stop, right? If you fight me, you'll only make yourself and the village look bad," Sasuke said harshly. "You wish," Naruto said with a light laugh. "I'll use, observe, on you to see how much you really got better over the break. Name: Uchiha Sasuke. Genin, plus 10 points added to the amount of experience gained. Level: LV32 next level, 57.41%. Belongs to Konoha. HP: 980/980ths. CP: 2780/2780ths. STR: 58. VIT: 98. Dex: 295. Int: 278. Wis: 197. Luck: 1. Def: 125. SPD: 231. Status: Double Tomo Sharingan, plus 7, Dex, plus 8, Int, plus 5, Wis per level. Avenger, plus 25% to all stats when attacking Uchiha Itachi. Firebug, minus 15% cost to Kaiden Jutsu, plus 10% damage to Kaiden Jutsu. And Sparkplug, minus 15% cost to Raiden Jutsu, plus 10% damage to Raiden Jutsu. Alright, do it your way. Just don't cry when I crush you in your dreams, and don't tell Kakashi. Dude, stop being so crazy, we have people here, Naruto told him. I don't care about any of them. It only matters that I beat you so I can fight Gaara. He said in a cold voice, I need to get stronger, and you're stopping me. Naruto shook his head in disappointment. Sasuke seemed to be in an unstable mood again, which meant he might try to kill him. This meant Naruto couldn't play with Sasuke and show off for the judges. He had to end the fight quickly and with as little shame as possible. Genma said, competitors, take your places, which put an end to the conversation. Genma pointed to a spot where Naruto should stand. Sasuke did the same thing, but his Sharingan was already on. Genjutsu found. Genjutsu resisted. Naruto closed the messages. The fight hadn't even started yet, but Sasuke was already trying to catch him in a weak Genjutsu. Trying to snare me in a Genjutsu already, the fight hasn't even started. Genma glared at Sasuke and said, if you try another Genjutsu before I start the match, you'll be disqualified. Sasuke, on the other hand, just shrugged and kept his eyes on Naruto. Hajime, Genma said, and as soon as the word left his mouth, he became hard to see. Naruto was already dodging some of Sasuke's shuriken and throwing some back at him. Sasuke easily avoided the shuriken and threw a series of small fireballs at Naruto. He wasn't happy when a rock wall popped up and blocked the fireballs and made it hard to see Naruto. Behind the wall, Naruto used Totenjutsu to make a small maze, and he hid several clones in that maze while he went underground to hide. Sasuke didn't care about the wall. He jumped easily to the top of the wall and saw the small maze on the other side. The chakra-filled walls made it hard for him to see where Naruto might be hiding. He jumped high above the maze and fired a huge fireball into the area, easily destroying the walls and any clones Naruto had made. When Sasuke landed on the flat, slightly burned floor of the arena, he was surprised when his ankles were grabbed and he was pulled into the ground up to his neck. Naruto teased Sasuke, that's it, thanks for playing, and better luck next time. Since Sasuke had been caught, it was unlikely that he would be able to go on a killing spree. Sasuke growled in anger and tried to move a little bit to the left and right. You can't get away from that, you're trapped, give up, Naruto said this time without any emotion. I'll knock you out if I have to, but it's not necessary. You're dead, Sasuke said with a hiss. As Naruto walked up to him to knock him out, he wasn't ready for Sasuke's body to be covered in electricity, which threw the earth out of balance and knocked him out. The last Uchiha jumped out of the ground, and his Chikudo moved quickly to cut Naruto's head off. On reflex, Naruto pulled his chakra to block Sasuke's attack. He strained for a moment before channeling some wind-based chakra into the blades, slicing cleanly through the sword and continuing on straight for Sasuke's face. Naruto's eyes widened slight and had to act quickly to move the blade away. He may have been pissed, but he wasn't about to stoop to Sasuke's level and try to kill the boy. Sasuke, on the other hand, wasn't ready for his electrically charged sword to be cut right through by a pair of knives. He had to move quickly to avoid Naruto's blade coming right at his face, so he was surprised when, even though he dodged the blade, he still got a deep cut just above his eye. "Trying to kill me?" raged Sasuke. "You're one to talk," Naruto said back, frowning and feeling a little bad that he could have killed Sasuke if they hadn't both moved to stop that from happening. "I'll kill you for trying to take out my eye," Sasuke said as he wiped away the blood that was flowing freely into his eye. "Hey, don't girls like scars? On the other hand, I'm sure that cut will leave you with a beautiful scar that will make you look less beautiful. You can't be upset that there are a few less fangirls, can you?" "You almost cut off my eye," Sasuke hissed, and his aura got a lot darker. Narrowed eyes saw the Juin, which was a line of jagged arrows that were all connected. It was coming up Sasuke's neck from the cursed seal. 10 no Juin, active, passive, LV2 express, 0.32% corruption, 0.50% every 5 seconds. Your deal with the devil is a double-edged sword. The 10 no Juin will give you huge boosts in most stats, but the corruption that comes with it puts everything and everyone in danger. Be careful, because this gift from Orochimaru will make it hard for you to make good decisions. Actively get back 1.50% of your HP every 5 seconds. Get back 1.00% of your CP automatically every 5 seconds. When active, STR goes up by 75%. When active, you get an extra 50% hydrogen phosphide. When active, Dex gets an extra 150%. When active, CP goes up by 25%. When active, it adds 100% to def. When active, the SPD goes up by 150%. When active, Whis goes down by an extra 75%. When active, regain 25% of your HP. When active, regain 25% of your CP. Fuck me, Naruto groaned. He really needed to end the fight quickly, which might mean using the Kyuubi's cloak one tail, much sooner than he had planned. Sasuke rushed forward, and his first punch to Naruto's unprotected gut made him lose a lot of HP. When Sasuke hit Naruto in the side of the head with his second punch, he blew up in a cloud of smoke. The poor clone Naruto switched to had no chance against that hit, but damn it didn't save his behind. Just as quickly, Naruto ran away from a possessed Sasuke. Even as he dodged and switched to one clone after another, he couldn't help but wonder if Kakashi had said something about him using that damned cursed seal. A clone finally hit Sasuke in the cheek, causing him to lose a few HP. The clone exploded when a kunai hit its neck a second later, but it was still a good hit. Naruto was quick to attack the clones, if only to buy time and maybe wear Sasuke down. "Coward!" Sasuke yelled, slicing clones left and right without noticing the Jun crawling across his face. "Come face me, coward! Quit making these sad copies and fight me." A clone said, "Yeah, that's probably not going to happen," and then died quickly. "Harsh," said a second clone who died the same way a second later. "Kaden. Ryuka no Jutsu." Sasuke yelled, his voice straining, as the huge fire dragon spat out fire and killed most of the clones in the field. The only thing that saved Naruto from being grilled with his poor clones was a quick Doden. Kabe no Jutsu. The only good thing was that most of the chakra he spent on the clones came back to him. "Uzumaki, is that all you've got? Hide behind a dirt wall?" Sasuke asked. "So, you're just dirt that I have to scrape off the bottom of my sandals?" "You really need to work on your trash talk," Naruto said from behind the stone wall as he sank into the ground and left a clone behind to distract. The clone was left with a lot of chakra and a lot of distraction techniques. When it came out from behind the wall, it was already firing mud bullets into the wall of fire that would surely kill him in a minute. However, the fire was a double-edged sword in this case. The fire made the mud harden into stone and made it hard to see. The first rock hit Sasuke's hands right in front of his face with a loud crack and snap, breaking several of his fingers. It then hit his face and broke his nose. The second rock hit his shoulder and hurt him, but it didn't break the shoulder. The third rock bullet hit the back of his thigh and cut his legs out from under him, causing him to fall to the ground with a heavy, painful thud. As Sasuke tried to get some control back, he was confused and in a lot of pain. Things got worse for him when a hand reached up from the ground before he could do anything. The arm wrapped around his throat, putting him in a very tight stranglehold, while a foot and a different hand held his arms down. With a bloody nose and a cut above his eye, he could barely fight before he fell asleep and went limp. Naruto pushed the body away as he fully got up from the ground. After the fight he had just been in, he was breathing a little hard. "Winner, Uzumaki Naruto!" was shouted to a stunned, silent crowd. Naruto took a few deep breaths to calm down, then jumped up and cheered a little, oblivious to the crowd's silence. It took him a minute to calm down before he walked off the floor of the arena and into the tunnel that led to the competitor's box. That was one hell of a fight, and the best part was that he didn't have to use Kyuubi's cloak one tail, because he knew it was only because Sasuke's judgment was so bad after he used Ten no Juin, a warning about how he should use the similar power he could access. The goal has been reached. Bonus for completing an objective, 50,000. Quest alert. The third stage of the Chunin selection exam. Finish the third part of the Chunin selection exam without failing. Objectives. Defeat Uchiha Sasuke. Defeat Sabaku Gaara. Defeat? Goals for extras. Bury Sasuke up to his neck using Doten, Shinju Zanshu no Jutsu. Award for completion, 500,000 express. 50,000 express per bonus objective. Completion failure, 10,000 express. Death or the end of the Chunin exam. Even in the box with the other competitors, people were giving him strange looks. "That was kind of cool," Kiba said at last. Naruto laughed and said, "Yeah, it was, wasn't it?" "Good job down there," Choji said. "Given the situation, I think you came up with one hell of a plan. I hope the judges agree. It was a tough fight, and Sasuke didn't make it easy, especially when he started using that Juin." "Well, I'm just glad you kicked his behind," said Kiba, and Naruto gave him a grateful look. "It just made the tournament so much easier for me." The appreciation was gone. Naruto took a deep breath and thanked Choji with a nod, but he gave Kiba a little look. "Hajime!" was yelled from the floor of the arena. Naruto, Kiba, and Choji all turned around at the same time to watch Neji and Shino fight. Shino looked completely at ease as he slowly raised his arms and let his Kakaichu fly out of his sleeves and toward Neji. At first, the Kakaichu surrounded Neji by going in circles around him. When they started to close in on him, they were blown away by Neji's Kaiten. Naruto watched as the Kaiten shook slightly as it threw the Kakaichu back, as if it were eating the chakra from the Kakaichu. He also saw that Neji's chakra dropped quickly and quite a bit. Neji must have noticed the drop too, because he switched from a defensive to an offensive strategy and tried to get closer to Shino. However, he had to back off quickly to avoid being swarmed by bugs from the genin who wasn't moving. "Hake Kusho," Neji said as he pushed a palm at Shino. Shino was pulled off his feet and thrown into the air toward Neji. His bugs couldn't move fast enough to keep up with him. "I can tell things about you," Neji said. "Hake. Roku Huion Sho," he said right before his hands came at him in a blurry attack. 2 strikes, 4 strikes, 8 strikes, 16 strikes, 32 strikes, 64 strikes. When it was over, Shino was on the ground and struggling to breathe, while his Kakaichu floated in the air aimlessly, even confused. Genma said, "The winner is Hyuga Neji," when he saw that Shino was clearly out of it. Shino's father then came out onto the field and told the confused Kakaichu to go back to Shino and start fixing his son's body. Then he told the Irionin who was waiting for him to come get him. As soon as the Irionin got to Shibi, he was gone. Lee and Konkuro were sent down as soon as the field was clear. Konkuro said, "I lose," before he could even get off the balcony. Lee looked really upset, and Naruto just looked very suspicious. Naruto could see the old man talking to the Kazekage from the Hokage's private booth, but he had no idea what they were saying. He could barely see them from the competitor's box, so he couldn't even make out their names. It was just fuzzy because they were so far apart. Genma said, "Rock Lee wins by forfeit," and his eyes grew suspicious of Konkuro. "I guess it's up to you too," Naruto said to Kiba and Choji as he looked at them. Choji took the long way down through the tunnels to the arena floor while Kiba jumped over the railing. Choji probably took a long way down to clear his mind and get ready for the next fight. Kiba and Akamaru yipped and growled at each other in a secret language that only they knew. Based on how excited they were to see Choji, it seemed like they were giving each other a pep talk. When Choji came out of the tunnel, he looked strange. He was thinner and thicker at the same time. It was really weird. Naruto asked out loud, "What did he do?" Kankuro said, "It looks like he moved his fat behind into his arms." Naruto took another look, and it was true, at least in part. Choji's arms, legs, and chest were all much bigger than they used to be. They were also much more muscular. Hajime! Genma yelled and jumped out of the way. Choji surprised everyone when he suddenly disappeared and appeared in front of Kiba. He slammed a huge fist into the dog boy's stomach, lifting him off the ground. Choji's other arm was already moving, grabbing Kiba by the head with a huge paw so he couldn't get away. Then, he kept hammering his fist quickly into Kiba's chest and stomach, and each blow could be heard all over the arena. Then one of the hits broke Kiba into small pieces of rock. "Tsuchi Gatsuga!" yelled a voice from the ground, and a huge twist of sharpened earth spikes shot up from the ground toward Choji. The big boy dodged the first shot and even the second and third. However, the fourth and fifth shots cut his right side pretty well but didn't hurt him too much. He moved out of the way of the next attack, and when Kiba hit the ground to turn around, Choji stomped hard on the ground. "Doden! Furu no Jutsu!" he shouted, even though the whole arena was shaking. When the earth shook like it did, both Kiba and Akamaru lost their balance. This gave Choji the chance he was looking for. One arm went to Kiba and Akamaru, and the other went to Akamaru. He shot his arms forward, and one went to each of them. Kiba winced when the fist hit him, and he panicked when the fist kept moving with him pinned against the left fist and Akamaru pinned against the right. When the arena wall and the fist both stopped him, he felt his body suddenly and painfully flatten. Choji pulled his arm back, happy that the hit he had just given would end the fight. "Ow," said Kiba, who was still standing, as he stepped out of a hole in the wall that looked a lot like him. Choji grunted in irritation. If he kept using chakra at this rate, he wouldn't last much longer. "Guess I have no choice," Kiba grumbled as he reached into his jacket. When he took his hand back out, he was holding a pair of white gloves with very sharp claws. "I wanted to save these for the next round, but there won't be a next round if I don't beat you here." Up in the booth, Naruto frowned when he saw that Kiba's new gloves had claws on them. Shiro Sume is a tough glove with 3 claws that are each longer than a foot and stronger than any steel made in Konoha. Stats: 30 to 50 damage. Dur 90/90ths. That son of a whore, Naruto whimpered. He was glad that Kiba could buy the gloves that Higurashi made from his crafting materials. He was worried that he might have to fight a Kiba with those claws, and the way Choji was breathing and losing chakra made it almost certain that he would have to. "Shikyaku no Jutsu," Kiba whispered, and as soon as he did, he was covered in chakra and disappeared. Naruto only saw Choji's body cut up in several places before the boy fell to the ground in pain. At that point, Kiba stopped the fight with a quick chop to the back of Choji's neck, knocking him out but leaving him with a few scars for his trouble. "Inuzuka Kiba is the winner," said Genma. "Hell yeah," Kiba said before falling on his back and gasping for air. "You done, kid?" asked the doctor who came to check on Choji. "Not even close," Kiba said. "I just need to catch my breath." He took a quick look around to check on Akamaru. The little dog was limping over to him. It looked just as tired and beat up as he did, but it was just as happy to have won. Naruto grumbled, "I need to stop underestimating Kiba." He had enjoyed the fight a lot, but now he had to face a walking nightmare. He didn't want to do this, but he knew it had to be done. Genma calls from the field below, "Sabaku Gaara and Uzumaki Naruto, please come to the arena." Naruto took a single breath and jumped over the fence that was between the competitor's booth and the arena. He landed lightly and went to stand where Genma told him to. Gaara seemed to be taking his time, which Naruto was glad for because it gave him more time to figure out how to stop the unstable Jinchuriki. He knew only one thing for sure, and that was that he couldn't hold back. Naruto and Genma heard a loud, strangled cry coming from the tunnel that led to the arena floor. Naruto quickly turned to look at Sasuke in the tunnel. The jutsu on his neck was flaring and then retreating, and he was desperately trying to fight off the Irionin who was trying to help him. Even as the Irionin tried to calm him down, he yelled, "Naruto! You jerk, I'll kill you!" Before anything else could happen, a needle was stuck in Sasuke's neck, putting him to sleep for the time being. "Che, you sore loser," Genma grumbled, moving the senbon in his mouth from side to side to show how upset he was. "Try psychopath," Naruto said, worried about his teammate and mad at him at the same time. It wouldn't be good for Sasuke to act like that, and hopefully no one in the audience could hear him yelling in the tunnel. Still, he watched as the Irionen tried to drag Sasuke back into the small medical ward. Sasuke was already asleep. It was creepy to see the door to the room where they were treating Sasuke close and a pair of glowing yellow eyes in the dark tunnel before Gaara came out into the light of day. Genma said, "I hope you're ready for him, kid," but he didn't move his lips as he said it. "We're about to find out," Naruto said softly. He didn't know how to move his mouth without being seen, and he didn't think it was important to learn. Gaara sat down on the other side of Naruto. The redhead didn't smile, frown, or sweat, even though the sun was beating down from above. It was really scary. "Hajime," Genma said. A second later, she disappeared and reappeared on the rival's balcony. Naruto asked, "Don't you think you'd just give up?" It couldn't hurt to ask. A second later, sand bullets were fired at him. If they had hit him instead of a clone, they would have hurt. "It was just a question, so don't act like you want to kill me." Homicidal was the right word for it because he had to switch out and replace clones like crazy just to stay alive. Naruto finally had to try to get back at Gaara by throwing a spread of shrapnel kunai at and around him, hoping to slow him down or at least make him pull back some of his sand. Gaara didn't move at all. In fact, his sand got a lot meaner toward Naruto, so he had to run faster to stay ahead of it. A clone high up on the arena wall fired, Doden, Teppodama no Jutsu, at the sand wielder, hoping to be out of range of any counterattacks. The mud ball didn't hit the target, but it did get their attention. Soon, there were a dozen clones firing mud balls at Gaara from the walls. This kept the sand busy so Naruto could try to figure out what to do. He didn't know anything about how Gaara fought, except that he used his sand for everything, both to attack and defend. It was very dangerous to get close to him, but he couldn't do enough damage from a distance because his attacks never got within a meter of Gaara. "Okay, it's time to try something dangerous," Naruto said as he turned on Kyuubi's cloak one tail, and sent a silent prayer to his parents. The red chakra wrapped around him right away, and a single tail formed behind him without any trouble. When he first learned the skill, his tail looked like a bubbly mess, but now it was smooth and clean, like the rest of the cloak that covered him. Now, he had less than 15 minutes to win or things would get really bad. Gaara's eyes got a little wider when he saw Cloak. It was the first time in the fight that he showed emotion. Then he felt pain for the first time in his life. Not a scratch or irritation, but a pulsing, throbbing, aching pain. The pain came from the fist that was buried in the side of his face. Even though it felt like he was hitting a brick wall, Naruto felt a little bit better when his fist hit Gaara in the face. Whatever made the Suna Genin have such a stupidly high defense also made him feel as tough as a rock. Still, it was satisfying to see Gaara finally lose some HP. Even though it was only 20 points out of 620, it was still damage, and Gaara's shocked face showed that he wasn't ready for it. Naruto didn't stay still after the punch sent Gaara flying across the arena floor. He couldn't, because the timer was ticking. He went right back to trying to hurt Gaara and break through his defenses. When he saw a small crack appear on Gaara's face, he finally got it. He had made a suit of armor out of sand, and a demon was running it. It was easy to see why it was so hard to break through. But it did give Naruto an idea, which he would have to act on as soon as he got the sand off of his ankle. The Suna Jinchuriki was confused because he was being hit by someone he really wanted to kill, but his mother wasn't there to help him. So, he raised an arm and told the sand to stick to the Uzumaki, even though it hurt. It pulled him off of Gaara, lifted him in the air, and slammed him down. Then it lifted him again and slammed him down. Repeating the process, he tried to hurt Naruto and make him suffer like he did. Naruto winced as another chakra reinforcement broke when it hit the ground, and he took a quick look at how corrupted he was. 44% of people are corrupt. Every time Gaara's sand lifted him into the air, he used the skill again. It used up a lot of chakra quickly, but it kept him from being squashed like a bug. He had to do something about the sand that was sticking to his feet. He had been tied down for a long time, and time was still going. After a lot of hard work, he was able to reach into his pouch and pull out one of his newest fuda, but another swing and hit to the ground made him drop it, 66% of people are corrupt. He was lucky that a few of his clones still understood what he wanted them to do. So, Gaara was confused as she watched one of the blonde clones pick up what looked like a normal explosive tag. But Gaara didn't care. He thought that an explosive tag wouldn't be able to break his hold. But as soon as the tag was put on the tendril of sand and set off, the sand completely fell apart, and all of the chakra Gaara had stored in it was gone. 71% of people are corrupt. Naruto was happy that his clone freed him, but he wished the clone had waited until he was on the ground instead of 10 meters in the air while he was swinging. The wall broke his fall and his chakra reinforcement, again. Gaara still seemed confused about what had happened, but he had a plan. First, he made another dozen clones. Then, he took out all of his chakra Osairu grade 1 cards and gave some to each of the clones. "Let's get him," Naruto said. He looked at his corruption bar and saw that he didn't have much time left. This had to work or it was game over. Putting all of his speed into his body, he flew past Gaara in a blur, putting one tag on his shoulder. Again, the young genin was confused by the strange fuda that had been put on him. Even more so when it didn't explode but instead just flared with chakra, causing the armor on his shoulder, upper arm, and chest to fall off. And just like that, he finally got it. A shiver of fear went through him as the group of blondes came down on him. His sand lashed out, but those tags made it fall apart quickly. Before he knew what was going on, most of his Suna Yaroi had already been taken from him. Naruto suddenly appeared in front of Gaara and put a tag on his forehead. He then activated the tag, which made all of the sand in the arena fall flat. Gaara yelled, "No!" and moved his arms as he tried to make the sand protect him. "No. You're just like the rest of us now, and for the next hour your demon is completely inaccessible," Naruto bragged. "Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to knock you out so I can enjoy my victory." A fist wrapped in a cloak hit Gaara in the face, sending blood everywhere. At the same time, the boy's nose broke, knocking him out and ending the fight. Corruption. 83%. Genma came between them and said, "Winner, Uzumaki Naruto." Naruto yelled, "Yada!" and turned off the cloak as quickly as he could. Luckily, it was only at 83%. He had only trained harder than that with Jiraiya, but that wasn't even close to as hard as what he just did with Gaara. He couldn't help but notice how tired he felt. This wasn't how he felt when he was training. He was very careful to never let his corruption go above 50%, except when he was first learning. He would have been happy to keep it that way, but he didn't have a choice when he had to fight Gaara. Still, it was good to know that, even though his intelligence dropped a lot while the cloak was on, he was mostly able to keep his head on straight. He was sure that his gamer's mind helped at least a little with that. Bonus for completing an objective, 50,000 Express. Quest alert. The third stage of the Chunin selection exam. Finish the third part of the Chunin selection exam without failing. Objectives. Defeat Uchiha Sasuke. Defeat Sabaku Gaara. Defeat Inuzuka Kiba. Defeat? Goals for extras. Bury Sasuke up to his neck using Doten, Shinju Zanshu no Jutsu. Make Gaara's own blood come out. Award for completion, 500,000 Express. 50,000 Express per bonus objective. Completion failure, 10,000 Express. Death or the end of the Chunin exam. Genma told him, "You should go rest, because your next fight won't be for a while." He then signaled to the Irionin waiting in the tunnel to come get Gaara. "Thanks," Naruto grunted. He was tired after that fight, so he left this time through the tunnel. He was glad for the long walk because it gave him a chance to stretch, which he had not done in a while. He wasn't as happy, though, when he went back to the competitor's booth and saw Kiba swinging at him. The first swing came close to hitting Naruto in the face. "What the fuck are you talking about, man? You stole the way my family did it," he yelled. "What the shit are you talking about?" Naruto asked, knowing that the Kyuubi's cloak one tail was similar but very different. "You stole the Shikyaku no Jutsu from us, and you're going to pay for it with your life," Kiba snarled. "You moron, it's not your damned Shikyaku no Jutsu. I'm a kami damned Jinchuriki, and that's what I can do with it. It just happens to be similar, or did you not notice the tail or that the cloak was red?" Kiba grabbed the front of Naruto's jacket and asked, "What the hell is a Jinchuriki?" He had one fist ready to strike. "I'm like Gaara, you idiot, I have a demon sealed inside me." If it uses its chakra, that's what happens, Naruto said, starting to get really mad at Kiba's stupidity. Ha, yeah right, said Kiba. Didn't you just see me kick Gaara's behind? Naruto asked in shock. Just ask your mom about it, and tell her I told her she can do it or something. Kiba shoved Naruto. Fine, I'll do it, but don't think I won't still kick your behind in the match. If you don't get disqualified for trying to hit me like that, Naruto teased, making Kiba look a little pale. You wouldn't tell me, would you? I probably should, since you didn't really have a good reason to hit me. I mean, how stubborn can you be? You jerk, you're still trying to mess with my head, aren't you? Is it working? Asked Naruto, grinning slightly. No, jackass, and don't think I'm cool with you right now, because you can bet I'll be telling my mom about that, and if it turns out you stole that technique, well, let's just say they won't find enough of you to identify the body. Whatever, dog breath, Naruto said to the wild Inuzuka as he waved him away. He wanted to see Neji and Lee fight, which was about to start. Kiba said, this should be a good fight, as if he had forgotten how angry he had just been with Naruto. Still, the way he looked at Naruto told him he wasn't ready to let go just yet. I hope so, Naruto said with a smile that matched Kiba's, even though he was angry with Kiba at the moment but was willing to hide it for now. Status. Name. Uzumaki Naruto. The Gamer's Class. Genin, plus 10 points added to the amount of experience gained. Level. LV35 next level, 28.13%. Belongs to Konoha. HP. 8263-8263. CP. 5704-5704. STR. 134, 68.40, equals 202.40. VIT. 117, 709.25, equals 826.25. Dex. 134, 83.70, equals 217.70. Int. 107, 463.38, equals 570.38. WIS. 107, 107.54, equals 214.54. Luck. Def. 489.00, 122.25, equals 611.25. SPD. 99, 171.50, equals 270.50. Status. Uzumaki Clan Heir, plus 100 Vit, plus 100 Int, plus 150% experience to Fuinjutsu. Skill, Kyuubi Jinchuriki, plus 100 HP and plus 100 CP per level. Inspirational Leader, plus 25% to any team's experience gain. Kamikaze, 25% cost to Futon Jutsu, plus 20% damage to Futon Jutsu, prepared at 23 hours 13 minutes and 54 seconds. 98, plus 10% damage to. Uzumaki Naruto is the last person to graduate this year. He got a low grade because he couldn't make a basic bunshin. After the test, Naruto showed his worth by stopping a traitor and learning 2A rank Kinjutsu. Now that his family is known, he has a lot to be proud of. He is the son of the Yondaime Hokage Namikaze Minato and the Nidaime Kyuubi Jinchuriki Uzumaki Kushina, which is a great legacy. But that doesn't answer the question of how the Kyuubi got away. Point. 11. Ryo. 429,650. Naruto was very excited as he watched Lee and Neji fight it out on the arena floor. He was just waiting to see who would make the first move. Naruto was betting that Lee would make the first move, but the fact that he hadn't shown how seriously the young man in green was taking the fight. As excited as he was for the fight to start, he couldn't help but feel a little sad that Neji wasn't there. He would have loved to have pulled that "guess who just made fate my bitch" move. He had played twice card on him, but that wasn't going to work if Neji and Lee were about to start fighting at any second. As it turned out, Neji and Lee both moved at the same time in a blur. Neji's first attack was easily blocked by Lee, who then countered with a blow that could have broken Neji's ribs if the Hyuga hadn't easily weaved around it and tried to block it himself, which Lee did just as easily. After Neji's counter, Lee threw a series of kicks that, if any of them had hit, would have ended the fight right there. The kicks were so strong and fast that Neji knew to avoid them. He couldn't even try to fight back, which closed the green-clad Yu's tenketsu. You can't win, Neji said when he finally had enough space to look at his opponent. You're a loser, Lee. You always have been, and you always will be. Lee decided not to answer or react. He had fought Neji too many times in team sparring sessions in the past to fall for the boy's taunting, no matter how mean or powerful it was. Neji frowned when he saw that Lee didn't say anything. He wanted to get the boy to make a mistake, but Lee didn't seem to be interested today. Neji, on the other hand, was once again on the run. Lee was so much faster today that Neji couldn't keep up. If it weren't for his Byakugan and agility, he would have been flattened. Naruto tried to pay attention to Lee's ankles to see if he was wearing his ankle weights, but he couldn't tell. Lee looked faster than if he was wearing weights, but his overall speed was a little bit faster than in the prelims. Name: Rock Lee. Genin, plus 10 points added to the amount of experience gained. Level: LV33 next level, 71.21%. Belongs to Konoha. HP: 3,933,930ths. CP: 2020. STR: 423. VIT: 393. Dex: 423. Int: 20. Wis: 30. Luck: 10. Def: 150. SPD: 387. Status: Genius of Hard Work, plus 5 STR, plus 5 VIT, and plus 5 Dex per level, and bonus stat gains go up by 100%, Chakra Deformity, CP goes down by 90%, Tough, plus 50 STR, plus 50 VIT, plus 50 Dex. Man, what a boring fight, Kiba grumbled. They keep getting around each other. Kiba's comment made Naruto roll his eyes because it was so stupid. This fight was certainly not dull. Just seeing how well they both used taijutsu was awe-inspiring. Whoever hit first, Neji's Juken or Lee's Goken, was probably going to win. Again, Lee and Neji are moving quickly and doing everything they can to avoid and hit the other, but neither of them hits. Then, Neji hit Lee's shoulder with a glancing blow, which caused the two to split up again. "You've lost," Neji said with a confident smirk. Lee made a face. "I guess I don't have a choice then." "Kaimon Kai, Kyuuman Kai, Simon Kai," he said, and his face turned red as he said the last word. Naruto's, observe, caught on to the ability right away and gave him a very nice explanation of how it worked. Hachiman, active, passive, LV. 57 Express, 54.55% HP 100 every 5 seconds. The 8 gates are 8 points on a person's chakra pathway system called Tenketsu. They slow down the flow of chakra in a person's body as a whole. One can learn how to open these gates by doing a lot of hard training. This lets the user go beyond their own physical limits, but at the cost of doing a lot of damage to their own body. Passively adding 25% to Dex. Passively adding 25% to STR. Passively adding 25% to SPD. Kaimon. When active, STR goes up by an extra 50%. When active, Dex gets an extra 50%. When active, SPD goes up by an extra 50%. When active, you take an extra 50 damage every 5 seconds. 10% more chance of getting a crippling injury. Kyuuman. When active, STR goes up by 75%. When active, Dex gets an extra 75%. When active, SPD goes up by 75%. When active, you take an extra 100 damage every 5 seconds. When activated, you get back 100% of your HP. 20% more likely to get crippling injuries. Simon. When active, STR goes up by an extra 100%. When active, Dex gets an extra 100%. When active, SPD goes up by 100%. When active, does 150 more damage every 5 seconds. 30% more likely to get crippling injuries. Showman. When active, STR goes up by an extra 125%. When active, Dex gets an extra 125%. When active, SPD goes up by an extra 125%. When active, does 200 more damage every 5 seconds. 40% more likely to get crippling injuries. Toman. When active, STR goes up by 150%. When active, Dex gets an extra 150%. When active, the SPD goes up by 150%. When active, you take an extra 250 damage every 5 seconds. Another 10% chance of dying. Neji's eyes widened just a little bit before he curved backwards to avoid the kick that was almost too fast to see. Neji's dodge made it easy for Lee's first kick to go over him, but with his new strength and speed, Lee was able to twist and flip over, putting both of his feet into Neji's stomach. Neji's body hit the ground, causing a spider web of cracks to form underneath it. Next, blood and spit came out of his mouth. Even after that, Neji was still determined to fight. Both of his hands moved quickly to hit Lee's legs while the boy was still standing on him, but Lee was already gone. He didn't see the punch that hit him in the head and knocked him out. Genma yelled, "Winner, Rock Lee," and told the medical staff to come get Neji. Lee yelled, "Yosha," and put both arms in the air. A second later, he yelled out in pain and fell to the ground, jerking. Even though he only had 3 gates open for a short time, he did a lot of damage to himself. "Damn," said Kiba to show his approval. "Yeah, that's not shit," Naruto said. "So, I guess it's just you and me left for the whole thing. Are you ready to lose?" asked Kiba. "We'll see, Mutt," Naruto replied, a hint of a smile at the corners of his mouth showing how excited he was. Kiba smiled and then jumped over the railing. As he went over the edge, Naruto was right behind him. It was an easy landing, and it didn't take long to walk to the middle of the field. Lee was brought out on a stretcher while Naruto looked down at him. He didn't look good. His situation was very scary. Status: disabled due to crippling injuries. There were 3 open gates for 30 seconds, and that was it. He was hurt so badly that he could never again be a shinobi. That wasn't right. To work as hard as Lee did and end up losing everything for a small win. Even though it was a personal win, the price was way too high. It also made Naruto wonder if there was anything he could do with his gamer ability to help Lee get better. Genma tapped Naruto on the shoulder and asked, "Hey, are you paying attention?" Naruto didn't even realize he stopped walking to the starting line because he was too busy thinking about Lee's fading form and what he could do to help him. "Huh, sorry, I'm good," Naruto said as he turned away from the tunnel and back toward Kiba, who was waiting. "Okay, boys, this could be the last match if the doctors can't save the green boy. So, make this fight exciting for the crowd. Ready?" Both Naruto and Kiba nodded, and neither looked away from the other. "Hajime!" Genma yelled before he jumped out of the way. Naruto started the fight by firing a futon Daitopa no Jutsu right away, even though Kiba and Akamaru were close by. It didn't do much damage, but it did send Kiba and Akamaru backwards and off their feet. Kiba rolled around a few times before he finally got back on his feet. As soon as the wind stopped, he charged forward, his Shirosume's clawed blades shining in the sun. He took a few swipes at Naruto, barely scratching him but not hurting him because of Naruto's chakra reinforcement, and Doden, Ishi no Hada no Jutsu. With Kiba so close, it wasn't hard for Naruto to step inside the wild shinobi's guard and hammer a fist into his stomach and across his face. When Akamaru bit Naruto from behind, he wasn't ready for it. Even after taking that punch the way he did, Kiba gave a smirk. Akamaru did his part. As soon as the Naruto in front of him burst into a cloud of smoke, the smile turned into a frown. Kiba only got away from where he was because he jumped just as Naruto's hands came out of the ground to try to pull the boy under. When Naruto got back to the surface after failing, he was hit by a splash of water from behind. Naruto asked, "What the hell?" When he looked behind him and saw Akamaru shaking his leg before the little dog ran to Kiba. Then he smelled it, Akamaru just pissed on him. Kiba gave a small cheer when he said, "Dynamic marking, success." "What the fuck, dude? That is not cool," Naruto said. "Seriously, who in the hell does that?" "I'll have you know that it's a real method," Kiba said. "It will make it even easier to kick your behind." Kiba wasn't bragging for no reason, Naruto thought with a frown. Kachiyose no Jutsu brought his 2 familiars to him. "Yo," Gamakichi said. "Hello," cheered Gamatatsu. "Wow, look at all these people." Gamakichi grimaced. "Bro, seriously, look around you. Can't you see that Naruto is in the middle of a fight and has called us to help him?" "Really? You mean we're going to fight?" Naruto suddenly wished he had only called Kichi, but he didn't know what Kiba was up to, and he knew it was better to have them both. He grabbed Tatsu quickly and put him on his head. "Kichi, move around and help out. Tatsu, stay where you are and do your job." Kiba pointed at the toads and asked, What the shit is that? Since when do you have giant toads under your control? They're summons, Naruto said with a smile. I don't know what you're up to, but I'm not just going to let you win. Ha, bring it Frog Boy. Let's do it Akamaru. Inuzuka Ryu, Jinju Kanbi Henge, Sotoro. There was a huge cloud of smoke that made it hard to see anything. Naruto didn't like that, and he didn't like it even more when the smoke suddenly seemed to be filled with a desire for blood. Even worse, he could see the shadow of a huge wolf with 2 heads. Garoga. Naruto had to quickly move out of the way of the big white tornado that came flying out of the cloud and headed straight for him. When the spinning stopped, Naruto was fighting a huge 2-headed wolf that made him feel very small. He was able to use his observe to pick up on both the transformation and the attack. Inuzuka Ryu, Jinju Kanbi Henge, Sotoro, active, LV3 Express, 13.32% carbon monophosphide, 250. A transformation in which the user and their ninken become one thing. It is one of the Inuzuka clan's specialties. They merge into a 2-headed wolf, which makes them much bigger and stronger. When active, STR goes up by an extra 250%. When active, Dex goes down by an extra 50%. Garoga, active, LV2 Express, 10.94% carbon monophosphide, 25. This can only be used when Inuzuka Ryu, Jinju Kanbi Henge, Sotoro, is in effect. This skill lets the user spin their body to attack the enemy in a violent way. The user can't see because the rotation is going too fast, but if they mark an enemy ahead of time, they can use their sense of smell to follow them. Does 300 to 500 tearing damage each time it is used. Bro? Kichi asked from his place on the wall. Do you have any ideas? Oil, Naruto said, pointing at the ground instead of the wolf. Kichi nodded, but Naruto couldn't see it because he was looking at the giant-ass wolf that looked like a cross between Kiba and Akamaru. Ready to give up? Asked Kiba Akamaru. Not even close, Naruto replied. He would have been happy to use Kyuubi's cloak one tail and beat the crap out of Kiba, but he still had way too much corruption to even try to use a little bit of it. So he was smarter than him. Don't say that we didn't give you a chance. I won't, said Naruto. He gave Kiba a sign with one hand to come at him. Garoga. Naruto quickly made a set of hand signs to activate Doden, Kabe no Jutsu, which made 5 walls appear in front of him. They wouldn't stop Kiba and probably wouldn't even slow him down, but they would make it harder for him to see than it already was while the technique was in effect. This would make it harder for the Beast Boy to find Naruto even though he was marked. Naruto moved quickly underground to get to the other side of the arena, but he only came up part way. Naruto used taunt to get the wolf's attention. He said, "Hey, Muttley, come here." Kiba turned and launched himself into another Garoga. What he didn't see or care about was the greenish puddle that Gamakichi had left in front of Naruto. Gamayumaku no Jutsu, active, LV13 Express. 67.99% carbon monophosphide, 25. AD rank ninjutsu. The user turns their chakra into an oil that is very slippery and spits it out in a big mass. When the oil touches the target, it covers their whole body and makes it hard for them to keep their balance and hold on to something. It also can't be hurt by chakra, so tree climbing won't be able to stop it. When he hit the oil, the Garoga's vortex sucked the oil into itself, which made his spin go faster. He was going so fast that he couldn't stop until he hit the arena wall pretty hard. When Kiba Akamaru hit the wall so fast and hard, Naruto couldn't help but wince. All kinds of seals were used to make sure that the walls of the arena couldn't take more than surface damage and had just a little give. The fact that Kiba Akamaru lost half of his health when he hit the wall was not good for Kiba. So, while the two were slipping and sliding in the oil they were now covered in, Naruto and Kichi started throwing jutsu at them from a distance. Kichi attacked with Suiden, Teppodama no Jutsu, and Naruto attacked with Doden, Teppodama no Jutsu, quickly and painfully lowering Kiba's hit points until the transformation was broken and Kiba and Akamaru finally lost consciousness. Genma yelled, "Winner, Uzumaki Naruto," and motioned for the doctors to help Kiba and Yvette to help Akamaru. Yada. Naruto, Kichi, and Tatsu all cheered at the same time. This time, when he won, the crowd cheered so loudly that it was hard to hear. "Not too bad, Gaki," Genma said. "So, what now?" Genma replied, "Well, Lee has 10 minutes to come out here or he loses." Okay, you guys can go back. If I need your help again, I'll call you. You did a great job today. Thanks, Naruto-nichan, replied Tatsu. Can I get some sweets? Naruto laughed and gave each of them a handful of sweets. They did well. Thanks, bro, Kichi told him. We were pretty bad, right? Yeah, we were, Naruto said. I probably won't call you back to train again until tomorrow, so enjoy the candy until then. With a few small puffs of smoke, the two of them were gone. So, Naruto had to wait for Lee's test results, which he already knew would stop Lee from going on. Once the time was up, Genma said, Rock Lee can't keep going. As a result, Uzumaki Naruto is the winner and tournament champion. Again, there were cheers from everyone in the arena. Naruto smiled and waved to the crowd. He played it up a little for them, since he was trying to get people to come to the village. The Hokage will come down soon to congratulate you. It's a formality, but be sure to show respect. Once that's done, the Hokage will meet you in his office after he ends the Chunin exam. Everyone for coming, including the Kazekage. Will I get to meet the Kazekage? Genma said, no, he'll stay in the booth. If his shinobi had won, he'd be closing the exams and congratulating his shinobi. Be on your best behavior one more time. Naruto nodded to show that he understood. He didn't want to make the old man look stupid. 500,000 express are given when a quest is finished. Quest alert. The third stage Chunin selection exam. Finish the third part of the Chunin selection exam without failing. Objectives. Defeat Sasuke. Defeat Gaara. Defeat Kiba. Win the tournament for stage 3 of the Chunin selection exam. Goals for extras. Bury Sasuke up to his neck using Doton, Shinju Zanshu no Jutsu. Make Gaara's own blood come out. Award for completion, 500,000 express. 50,000 express per bonus objective. Completion failure, 10,000 express. Death or the end of the Chunin exam. Naruto was happy to have finished the quest. It was also a lot of fun and taught me a lot. But the best part was that it meant he passed the Chunin selection exam and that all of his friends did too, even though there was a lot going on behind the scenes that he didn't know about. It didn't take long for the old man to show up. He looked at Naruto with a proud smile. Well done, my boy, he said with a smile as he got closer. Thank you, Hokage-sama. When Naruto was greeted so formally and with so much respect, Sarutobi gave him a slightly surprised look. Just by looking at Genma, he could tell that the Junin had told Naruto to be on his best behavior. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to congratulate Genin Uzumaki Naruto on a great show of skill and strategy. Congratulations, young man. I'm sure you'll keep proving yourself to be the great shinobi we've all seen you be today. Well done, Naruto-kun, well done. Thank you, Hokage-sama. I promise to always do my best to protect the will of fire. Naruto was surprised when his simple statement got so much applause that the whole arena shook. Sarutobi couldn't help but give a small smile. The boy had said something even better than he had before. The old man told Genma-san, please take our young champion to my office while I finish up here. Genma gave Naruto a sign to follow him back into the tunnel. So he followed. It surprised Naruto a little when they didn't go back outside the arena but instead went down some stairs and into a tunnel system. What's going on here? Evacuation tunnels, said Genma in reply. We use them sometimes to move around without being seen. For example, if you win a tournament, we don't want anyone who bet against you and lost money to come after you drunk and angry. Or worse. Fangirls. He gave a small shiver when he got to the last one. Me? Fangirls? Right, said Naruto with a laugh. You have no idea, kid. Genma, who was still in front, told them to wait and see. It didn't take them long to come out of the tunnels. They were in the basement of the Hokage Tower, and Naruto could tell by the paint on the walls that he had never been here before. After that, it didn't take them long to get to the old man's office. Take a seat, Hokage-sama will be here soon, I'm sure. Genma left right after. Naruto had been to the old man's office many times. Most of the time, he went there when he was in trouble, but sometimes he went there just to talk to the old man. Lately, though, most of his visits had been for missions. Even though it wasn't guarded, the open door to his private library was very tempting to check out, especially since the Anbu were probably hiding in the room and ready to attack at any time. Still. Tempting. Then Naruto had an idea that would be fun to try just once. So, he walked around the old man's desk before pulling the chair out. He carefully put his fingers on the seat to see how soft it was, and he found that it was soft. The leather is very soft and flexible, and it has a lot of padding. Sitting in that chair didn't make me feel too bad. It was too cozy to turn down. Naruto had never sat on something so comfortable, soft, and, well, awesome. He had no choice but to sit back and relax in the chair. He was even brave enough to put his feet up on the desk. I could get used to this, he said to the room that was empty. Someone whispered in his ear, "Oh, could you know?" Naruto jumped up from his seat, jumped over the desk, and ran as fast as he could toward the door, arming himself as he went. His heart was beating fast. When he finally turned around to face his attacker, he saw the old man sitting in his chair with a smile on his face. "Not cool, you old man." Sarutobi finally couldn't hold it in any longer and laughed out loud for a long time. "Oh, Naruto-kun, my boy. That was just too good. I think I understand why you like to play jokes so much." "Yeah, well, do you realize you just declared prank war against me?" Naruto asked. "You're welcome to try, but I wouldn't recommend it," the old man said with a smile. "So, you won. You did well in winning too. So, what happens next? I thought you were supposed to tell me?" "I suppose," the old man replied. "So, it will take a few days to count up all the votes before any decisions are made about promotions. In the meantime, you can celebrate with your friends, as I have a few Junin out collecting them. They should show up soon." "Alright, thanks. What's up with Lee? Or, for that matter, Sasuke?" "Lee is in the ICU. Sasuke is being watched in the hospital because we don't know how bad the seal was for him. So, it's clear that they won't be joining you. Is everyone else okay? They got a few bumps and bruises, but they're fine. Kiba-kun might be a little mad at you, though." "Yeah, the dog deserved it. He talks a lot and is a jackass. When I was so mad, I might have told him I was a Jinchuriki. That was pretty stupid, can't he just shut up?" "I'm not sure. I told him to find out from his mom. He just accused me of stealing his family technique because it looks a little bit like the Kyuubi's cloak. Even though it was stupid. I think it's time I put my faith in my friends. Even more so if I plan to use it in the future. They have to know. Aru and Choji both know, but neither of them cares. I'll back you up if you think it's the right choice. Just one thing. Sasuke must never find out about me. I don't want him to know anything about me. I don't trust him, and you shouldn't either, most likely. I don't know what's wrong with that guy. That's a seal. It's not the seal alone. He was crazy even before the seal. I don't trust him. I'll get a more thorough assessment done. Make sure it's done by someone you trust, not someone who will just kiss his ass because he's the last Uchiha. Trust me a little bit, Naruto-kun." "Don't worry, I'll handle it," said Sarutobi. After looking at him for a minute, Naruto gave up. "Anyway, how well did I really do in those fights?" "You were nothing less than amazing. I was especially impressed with how you dealt with Gaara. Beating a Jinchuriki so easily is not easy." Naruto just had to smile. "Yeah, that was pretty cool, right? With all that sand, he was also tough." "A very dangerous opponent indeed," Sarutobi said as he took his pipe out of a drawer. "It only takes a minute to pack and light." He took a few puffs after he lit it. "So, are you going to tell them about how good you are at gaming?" "Maybe some of them, but not today." "Why? What do you think?" "You can tell them or not tell them. It's up to you. Just make sure you can handle the results." Naruto gave a deep nod. "I don't think it's a good idea to tell them all at once. Maybe start with one at a time, you know? Again, it's your choice." A knock on the door stopped the group from talking anymore. "Enter," Sarutobi said as she walked toward the door. Kakashi led the way in as the doors opened. He was followed by Sakura, Karen, Asuma, Shikamaru, Choji, Ino, Kurenai, Hinata, Shino, and finally Kiba. Naruto said, "Hey, everyone," smiling from ear to ear. Kiba said a few nice things, patted him on the back, and made a few jokes. "Yes, the kid did well, but stop making him feel good about himself," someone said from the window. "Ero Sennin, shut up you jerk. Let me enjoy this," Naruto snapped, giving the pervert a dirty look. "Damn it," Stop calling me that in front of other people. Why? Why would I call you anything else if you were a perverted hermit? Gaki, I'll kick your behind, Jiraiya told him. Okay, Jiraiya, that's enough. Let the boy have a good day, Sarutobi said. Bah, you cheap old man, stopping my fun, said Jiraiya, but he was still grinning a little. Most of the people there were surprised to see Naruto, Jiraiya, and the Hokage acting like that. You're one to talk, Naruto grumbled. Anyway, there are 2 reasons why we brought you all here. First, you were asked to come so you could celebrate with Naruto after he won the tournament. Second, Naruto wants to tell his friends a little bit about himself and maybe answer some of their questions. Now, let me be very clear about this second point. This is very secret information. If you talk about it, you and the person you talk to are likely to die. I hope you all get how important this is. Some of the people in the room nodded, and others swallowed nervously. But if you don't want to know, you can wait outside, said the old man as a final note. It took about 30 minutes to explain what a Jinchuriki is and how that affects Naruto, as well as answer a few other questions. Naruto didn't say anything about his parents, even though he was asked a few times, and he also avoided anything that had anything to do with his gaming skills. After everything was over, the group went to find food and have a proper party. Naruto got home close to midnight. He had a lot of fun that night.
Naruto was glad to find his bed and be able to sleep for the night.
He was about to fall asleep when he heard a faint popping sound coming from outside his apartment. Then there was a small shake, followed by a loud pop, which was followed by a stronger shake. Naruto's eyes popped open when he heard the sound of sirens. He got up and left his house as soon as he could. From far away, he could see fire lighting up a part of the village. Another explosion scared him, and this one was much closer to his apartment building, so he ran quickly up the wall to the roof. He could see another fire burning, and now he could see shadows moving in the fire. Quest alert. Save Konoha. The village is being attacked, so do everything you can to protect it and its people. Objectives. Get a group of people to help you defend the village.
Help 50 civilians get to safety.
Kill 20 of the people who are trying to invade.
Defeat Shukaku.
Goals for extras. Award for completion. 1 million express. 250,000 express per bonus objective. Failure to finish. The Konoha was destroyed. People were locked up, tortured, and killed. No pressure then, Naruto said with a snarl as he tapped the accept button. Status. Name. Uzumaki Naruto. The gamer's class. Genin, plus 10 points added to the amount of experience gained. Level. LV35 next level, 69.22%. Belongs to Konoha. HP. 8263 8263.
CP. 5704 5704.
STR. 134, 68.40, equals 202.40. VIT. 117, 359.25, equals 476.25. Dex. 134, 83.70, equals 217.70. Int. 107, 113.38, equals 220.38. WIS. 107, 107.54, equals 214.54. Luck. Def. 489.00, 122.25, equals 611.25. SPD. 99, 171.50, equals 270.50. Status. Uzumaki Clan Heir, plus 100 Vit, plus 100 Int, plus 150% experience to Fuinjutsu, Skill, Kyuubi Jinchuriki, plus 100 HP and plus 100 CP per level, Inspirational Leader. Your team will gain 25 experience if you are on it. Kamikaze, minus 25% cost to Futon Jutsu, plus 20% damage to Futon Jutsu, prepared at 0 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. OO, plus 10% damage to opponents who have been scouted, minus 10% damage from opponents who have been scouted.
Uzumaki Naruto is the last person to graduate this year.
He got a low grade because he couldn't make a basic bunshin. After the test, Naruto showed his worth by stopping a traitor and learning 2A rank Kinjutsu. Now that his family is known, he has a lot to be proud of. He is the son of the Yondaime Hokage Namikaze Minato and the Nidaime Kyuubi Jinchuriki Uzumaki Kushina, which is a great legacy. But that doesn't answer the question of how the Kyuubi got away. Point 11. Ryo. 429,650. Find a trainer to help you get ready for the Chunin Selection Exam Stage 3. Choose a trainer who will teach you what you need to know for the Chunin Selection Exam Stage 3. Objectives. Find someone who will help you prepare for the finals. Pass the test given by the person who wants to hire you. Take on the possible trainer. Goals for extras. Get one of the possible trainers to teach you on top of your main trainer. Award for completion. 100,000 express. 50,000 express per bonus objective. Completion failure. 10,000 express. No help getting ready for the finals.
Quest alert. Preparation T-30 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds, 0
Prepare for the Chunin Selection Exam Stage 3 by working out harder than you ever have before. Objectives. Get to know Kochiyose no Jutsu. Learn how to chakra. Find out about futon affinity. Learn 3 futon jutsu. Learn 2 doden jutsu. Earn 10 levels to fuin jutsu. Earn 5 levels. Goals for extras. Earn 10 levels.
Learn at least 1 rank or higher futon jutsu. Learn a doden jutsu that is at least B rank.
Earn 25 levels to fuin jutsu. Get Kochiyose no Jutsu when you reach level 25. Get 1 Toad friendly. Award for completion, 500,000 express. Status buff that says, prepped for the day of the finals.
100,000 express per bonus objective.
Completion failure, 100,000 express. Status buff for the day of the finals if you are underprepared.
Information gives you power.
Find out what you can about your possible opponents for the last round of the exam. Objectives. Figure out Toten Jutsu. Gain 50 levels to Toten Jutsu. Find out what you can about your first opponents in the 3rd round without getting caught. Find out information about at least 3 other possible 3rd round opponents without getting caught. Goals for extras.
Get Toten Jutsu to level 75.
Find out as much as you can about all of your possible opponents in the 3rd round without getting caught. Award for completion, 500,000. 100,000 express per bonus objective. Completion failure, 100,000 express. Quest alert. The 3rd stage of the Chunin Selection Exam. Finish the 3rd part of the Chunin Selection Exam without failing. Objectives. Defeat Sasuke. Defeat Gaara. Defeat Kiba. Win the tournament for Stage 3 of the Chunin Selection Exam. Goals for extras. Bury Sasuke up to his neck using Doden, Shinju Zanshu no Jutsu. Make Gaara's own blood come out. Avoid dynamic marking. Healed Lee so he could keep competing. Award for completion, 500,000 express. 50,000 express per bonus objective. Completion failure, 10,000 express. Death or the end of the Chunin exam.
So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more awesome stories like this. Thank you. See you all in my next video.